Hi, this is Ken, and I wanted to run through D's help overview for the Fusion application help. There's some really great things that are in this sequence, and I also wanted to kind of call out a couple of things here that are confusing in the directions that we'll have to update. So to start off with, I wanted to say that Dee did an excellent job of beginning her voiceover narration track right at 8 seconds. That's perfect timing. That's right where you can see that's where the waveform dies down here in the bumper. The music kind of fades out and we can bring in Dee's voice right there, and it's perfect timing. So good job, Dee. So then we see the title screen here, and we get into the Fusion application. She shows us how to get to help and choose a topic. Now we're coming up on our first zoom and pan, and you can see that every time you see these badminton birdie icons, they can also be stretched out to might look a little more like that with an arrow. That's a zoom and pan. Now I'm noticing that there's zoom and pans happening on the watermark layer, the camera layer, as well as the bumper layer, and the bumpers are not visible at this point, so it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to suggest that we make sure not to have any zoom and pans on either the bumper or the watermark layers, and I'll show you why here. So you see this gray bar here with the tutorial videos, the Oracle logo, and the Oracle Play logo. When we're playing through here, so now you see it, and when we get to that zoom and pan, you'll notice that that bar and logo goes away. Now for the time being, we're going to be discussing how that bar is going to behave and whether it's going to go away at certain points or not, but we definitely don't want the zoom and pan to hide that. We want that to remain visible throughout. So we're going to delete those zoom and pan marks so that now you can see that bar throughout the entire move here. And once we zoom and pan back to seeing the full UI, obviously you can see the bar and the red logo throughout that entire sequence, so that's great. So one way that we can do that, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do some house cleaning while we're thinking of it so we don't forget. Let's go ahead and delete these here. And just make sure that you've selected and highlighted the zoom and pan icon, because if you miss by a little bit and then you hit delete, you're going to delete the bumper or whatever the track is. So we'll get rid of all of those. Now we have only zoom and pan icons here on the camera layer. So Dee and I have both experienced this issue where we're trying to add another move, and so we're going to basically highlight the clip or track that we want to do the move on. We'll click on the zoom and pan tab here, and now we can see the entire frame just like over here. And scrolling down to here, we see that the scale is apparently maxed out at 100%. Usually we should be able to select and basically highlight that value within the scale field and manually type, say, 150%, which is our max. Now I think this is either a bug in the software, or it could be a result of the stitching here. Dee has done a lot of stitching here on this particular clip, putting together different clips. You can see that just trying to update that value in the field has put some zoom and pan icons on all 3 layers. So what we're going to do is anytime we're going to create a zoom and pan move, let's go ahead and lock these layers, the bumpers and the watermark, so that any changes we're making is only going to apply to the camera. The narration is an audio track, it won't be affected by our zoom and pan. So now we'll demonstrate how making a change in the zoom and pan will only affect the camera layer, and you can see that we don't get the icon on the locked watermark or bumper tracks. So this is really important. It'll save you a lot of time. That means you'll have more time to make great tutorials. So thanks for tuning in.